What's up, everybody out there? Welcome back to another Addicted Fishing video. My name is Jordan Kadegi, and today we're gonna sit down and I'm gonna show you the 5 most important things to have before you start going fishing. It's all laying right here in front of me. So if you guys wanna learn more about each one of these things I have, stay tuned, it's coming at you right now. The first thing I'm going to start talking about today is our pack setup. The tackle box is kind of a thing in the past. The old Plano plastic tackle box that Grandpa handed down to you, and really what got you into fishing, is something that very few people seem to use these days. The fishing bag, however, has kind of graduated in more of like a dry bag setup. Really, any sort of dry bag is going to work well for you. I like these Mustad bags. We're partnering with Mustad. These are pretty cool because they roll up at the top, they have a zipper, they latch, and it's really kind of a one bag fits all. I have cooking supplies in here, I have rags, I have my fishing gear, I have tackle, I got propane, I got pots and pans, I got everything I need for a shore lunch right in my bag, and it all fits. Something over about a 40-liter bag, whether it's a top zip kind of duffel type bag or it's one of these dry bag setups, works really well for this because one, it'll keep your stuff dry while you're out there either on the boat or on the lake or out on the river like we are here today, and it'll allow you to have enough room to kind of take everything that you're going to need. That's kind of why it's taken the place of the traditional tackle box, because we can take our tackle and we can take all the rest of our gear that we need for the day. So having that good pack is really essential. These are Mustad bags. There's all kinds of dry bags out there on the market, so check them out. And if you're just starting into fishing, try to get a semi-high quality bag so that you're not going to be rebuying this kind of product over and over again. Get one that you think is going to last a long time, stick with it, and it won't let you down. The next thing I want to talk about in the means of storage is some sort of tackle storage. And what I have here is just a normal Plano sealed, it has a rubber grommet that goes around. Mine's obviously dirty and been wet because I've been fishing hard all year. But this is, it has this rubber grommet on the inside that actually seals off most of the moisture. The only time my things get wet in here is if I have this open in a rainstorm. But we have room for all of our terminal tackle. The same sort of style of box works well for lures. Or whether you just need to put hooks or split shot or weight, but finding yourself a couple of gasketed boxes like this will work really nicely for keeping your gear dry over time. You can add little dehumidifiers in there, little sticks like you see in a jerky bag, and it'll actually keep your stuff from rusting and keep it ready to fish at all times, anywhere. And it packs really nicely. They're all about the same shape they go in. So this is my favorite way to stock any of my tackle inside that bag that I'll be taking out on the water. So those are my 2 go-tos for storage, whether it be my tackle storage or my bag. They both pair well together, and they're gonna last you a long time if you buy the right quality of gear. The second most important thing to go along with your gear are the actual tools, the things that probably got you guys to click on this video. And what I like to use is my Gerber setups here. Really, there's a lot of different styles of scissors and stuff on the market. If you want to just go to the craft store or the normal store down the street and buy just normal scissors, it works great. But what I will say is save the teeth. I, for years, used to bite my fishing line as well, even when it was light line or heavy line, and it messed up my teeth. So I'd recommend anybody, the first thing that you go buy after you buy your tackle and your bag is to get some sort of scissor setup, and with a zinger. I like the Gerber setup because they come together. You can buy them all in the same place. These are the Neat Freak scissors. They're my very favorite. They work really well for cutting braid and a lot of different styles of line. I even cut lead and swivels and stuff I probably even shouldn't with it. And then I got my zinger here, and this one's a locking zinger. I like this one. It's lasted me a long time, but you can buy zingers at the hardware store. You can buy any kind of attachment that's going to allow you to connect that scissor and something like that. Try to get something with a dull tip too. If you're getting in and out of soft boats like a raft or an inflatable float tube, having a sharp tip scissor can end your day pretty quickly. So I like the Gerber setup though, and they're on a belt, as you notice. This is a wading belt, but any sort of like leather belt, any belt like that you can put on, you can have your stuff readily available right on your side at all times. This connects to my wader, so it's actually kind of a safety thing too if you're wearing some sort of dry suit or wader setup. But I have my pliers and I have that scissor and zinger attached to a belt that's just my fishing belt. So the other thing that I have connected to this belt obviously is my pliers, and there's a little sheath for them right here, so it keeps them readily available and ready to go at all times, whether I'm unhooking a fish or whether I'm pinching down some split shot or whatever it might be. Those are the 2 must-have tools on your hip at all times, the pliers and the scissors. I like these pliers because they're a saltwater grade pliers, so they don't get rusty, they last a long time, but any sort of pliers will work. But I will recommend you get some sort of plier that's rust resistant or something that's stainless, so that you're not constantly, every time you get your pliers wet, getting rusty pliers and not being able to use them when you need them most. So the next tool that obviously must be the very most important one of all for going fishing is your fishing rod selection. I want to talk a little bit about matching the style of fishing rod to the style of fishing that you're doing. You don't need to be one of those people that has a garage full of rods and fishing poles in every single nook and cranny of the house. But what you do want is to make sure to match your rod selection to the style of fishing that you're doing. Whether you're bass fishing, whether you're trout fishing, whether you're salmon and steelhead fishing, whether you're ocean fishing, you should have a specific setup for that certain kind of fishing. And it's going to make life a lot easier for you. Out here in the Northwest, we like to salmon and steelhead fish, so I recommend like a 9.5 to 10-foot rod for float fishing. I recommend a little bit shorter, like 9-foot rod for spinner fishing, and maybe just an oddball one for fishing some sort of bead setup. In bass fishing, you're gonna want a lot stronger and a lot shorter rods. Your pound test goes along with that. Being sure to go to your local tackle shop, talk to your local retailer, and ask what should be used for those general areas. A lot of times they'll have that experience to be able to tell you what works best for each kind of fishery that you're using. So be sure to have the right rods to match to the certain styles of fishing that you're going to be doing in your local area. So the next thing I'm going to say is almost as important as your fishing rods themselves, and it's your glasses that you're wearing. I say it all the time. I have a joke where I tell people I'd rather forget my fishing poles than I would forget my glasses. And why I say that is because they're such a great way to utilize your eyeballs when you're fishing. You're not just guessing what the structure is that you're fishing on. So having a good pair of polarized sunglasses, whether it doesn't matter what brand you use, but having a couple different shades of polarized glasses, like you see here, this one being like a light amber or like a yellow colored lens, this one being a dark smoky style lens for brighter days. This light color, amber color, I'm going to be using on somewhat of a cloudy day or an early morning situation or a late night. But having the multiple shades of glasses is going to allow you to utilize your eyeballs and use your sight to actually catch those fish in any given situation, whatever the Mother Nature is throwing your way. Next, to kind of help along with the glasses, I'm going to say is some sort of fishing hat. Not only does a fishing hat bring you good luck a lot of the time, especially once you find the right one, what it allows you to do is have that visor to block out the different shadows and that sunlight throughout the day that's going to be inflicting your sight into the water. The beauty of using both of these together is, one, you block the sun, and two, you look through the glare on top of the water, which allows you to see the logs, the rocks, and the different kind of structure that these fish like to sit around, whatever the given species is where you're at. So having both of these paired together, having your lucky fishing hat and your good pair of sunglasses really is going to elevate your fishing every time you go out on the water. Last but not least is how you process your catch once you make it home. What I have here is a 9-inch fillet knife. This might be overkill for the style of fish that you're fishing for, or it might be underkill, depending on what you're fishing for in the world. But having a good blade to process your catch at the end of the day, if you're keeping those fish, is what's going to be most important. Having that good steel, something to actually sharpen that knife on. This Gerber blade comes with a really cool case that actually has that steel on it so that I can sharpen that blade before I use it. But having the right size fillet knife is right as well. This is a 9-inch blade. They make a 4-inch blade. There's a lot of different sizes of blades on the market depending on what style of fish you're fishing for. Obviously, with a smaller fish, you'd want a smaller blade. Bigger fish, you want a longer blade, and something bigger like this, because I use this for salmon and steelhead. The other biggest part of it is having something that takes an edge well. Buying the cheapest knife possible is not always the best option, because you're not going to have a high quality steel to be able to sharpen that and be able to use that knife over a long period of time. Another thing that makes this job so much easier is what one of our great partners make, and it's the Fillet Away fish mat. This thing is a rubber mat, super easy to clean, and the way it's designed are with these about 1/2-inch little pegs on this so that it actually grips the meat of the fish. You wouldn't believe how well these fish will actually stick to this once you get it against their scales. So whether you're fishing for walleye or bass or trout or salmon and steelhead, having a good surface to cut on, it doesn't have to be this Fillet Away. We even used to use like a carpet mat or an AstroTurf to put down, so where we can actually get a good hold on those fish, or a fillet board or something that would actually hold that fish in place. But what we found now is these Fillet Away fish mats work really good paired with a good sharp knife to process and handle that catch at the end of the day. All right, everybody, so all this gear right here, in my opinion, is the basic and the very bare minimum that you need to go out and catch fish. The right fishing pole, a good pack to put stuff in, good containers to hold your gear, the ability to actually fish well, and then having the right gear to process that fish at the end of the day is gonna make your life a lot easier and allow you to have a lot more fun out there on the water. If you guys like this video, be sure to check out this link to this other video and some of our other awesome educational content that we have for you here on YouTube. Go down here and hit subscribe, turn your bell on, give us a thumbs up if you like this video, or comment below, and you could be the comment of the day, just like this person right here. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. You stay fishy, and we'll see you out there.